I'm here with Claire Brown, who actually one of the people behind VITAC and a Verbit company. And Claire is the strategic salesperson for VITAC Verbit. And I really want you to understand what this can do for you as content creators in terms of, if you heard Mr. Beast earlier, you heard Mark Hustevelt talk about the power that multi-language translation had for one of the most successful blogs. And Claire's going to tell us a little more about that whole journey. So first, let's start with Claire Brown. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Verbit, and tell me when you're ready for me to click.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I work for VITAC. We are a global media services company. So we support a number of media and entertainment brands with their captioning, transcription, translation, dubbing, anything that helps our media brands to take their content globally and make it accessible globally. We're also a YouTube partner. So we work with YouTube on their multi-track audio program, and we work with creators who are looking to launch their channels internationally. So I think we're going to play a clip. And this clip is Dylan, one of our creators who we work with, and it's his launch into the South American market. It's a Spanish dub of his content. And the key point here, I think, is just to take a look at the creative intent and how we've replicated the tone and the energy of the English audio into Spanish.
Tone and energy. Keep that in mind because we're going to get back to that. I'm going to click on the video, but also remind you, if you want to sample live, scan in the VITAC QR code, and on your mobile app, the app will come up and start to record, transcribe, and you can sort of test out the features in we have 2 languages running here.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look.
¡Wow! ¡Alfred! ¿Qué rayos es esto? ¿Por qué está bajo la torre, güey? Esto es la Baticueva. Bien, ustedes. ¡Wow! ¿Pero qué? Alfred, ¿de dónde salió este traje? Tienes la edad adecuada para usar el traje de Batman. Y ahora puedo contarte el secreto de tu familia.
Sabía que había algo secreto en esta torre.
¡Wow! ¿Qué demonios causó esa explosión? ¿Alfred? ¿Quién rayos es ese tipo verde? ¡Qué mal! ¡Es el acertijo!
Tú vendrás conmigo, anciano. Ahora que tengo a Alfred, él fue a averiguar dónde están los secretos de la familia Wayne.
¡No! ¡Acertijo! ¡Trae a Alfred de vuelta! ¿Qué demonios debo hacer ahora?
That was pretty emotion filled. I know
Energy, right?
I know AI, and AI like kind of is a little short on emotion. So how do you get that magic emotion into the translation?
It's a really good question. I think it's important to understand that not all content is the same. So we approach each project in that way. Excuse me. So for that particular client, they have a huge subscriber base. So we're talking millions of subscribers. And it was really important for us to reflect the tone and energy of the original piece and launch them in these new markets with a really, credible and energetic channel. So for this, we used human voice talent to dub the Spanish, but we do have an AI dubbing product as well. And for some creators, that works really well. We've got one channel, for example, which is a architectural interior design channel, which has beautiful imagery, beautiful footage, but it's got a single narrator. And for that channel, AI dubbing works really well. So our whole objective is just to replicate the creative tone of the original piece, whether that's AI or technology. It doesn't really matter. It's just about making sure we maximize the engagement with the audiences.
Yeah, but that's a really good point that Mr. Beast also says he uses humans to capture the tone and the emotion, but there's some things, maybe it's a webinar where AI is a great, affordable, and efficient way to do multi-language and transcription. So let's talk about, so what you showed us was YouTube, correct?
Yeah.
So I know you also do talk about the other, you do YouTube, you do Facebook.
Yeah, we can deliver to most platforms. So we have our own platform at Verbit, which means, it's API driven. So our creators can, upload content. We can, integrate seamlessly with all of those platforms. It's super easy for creators if they want to come to us and they need captions or languaging. I think with dubbing, we normally do handhold them through the process a little bit, work with them to understand what languages they might want, what territories they might want to launch in, and also what assets they may need, because as well as a media file, there's various other supporting materials that would be helpful for us to, optimize the solution for them and get the best results.
So what happens in a case like Zoom, where it's not a one-to-many, but it's conversational? You can still transcribe.
Yeah, we can live caption, live translate, whatever's required for that specific audience.
And so does each platform come to you with their own integration, and then you work with that platform?
Yeah, exactly that. So because we're API driven, we can integrate with most client systems.
And so we know YouTube actually now has a multi-language. You kind of click on the little wheel and your choices of languages come up. Tell me about, does that lift everybody's multi-language up? And does that lift video? The guy that you showed us, what happened to his traffic when he translated to Spanish?
So yeah, YouTube's just launched a multi-track audio program, which is really similar to the Netflix dubbing offering, if anyone's ever watched dubbed content on Netflix. So the user can actually click on a drop down and choose the language that they want to watch the video in. And Mr. Beast was one of the first creators that adopted this and launched his channel in multiple languages, which was a phenomenal success, as we all know. He achieved huge subscriber growth, and a lot of creators are coming to us now also looking to do that in new territories. So they're coming to us with, some of them have 1 to 2 language requests, some might have 15 to 20. And basically YouTube has, from an average perspective, thinks that you can increase your subscriber growth by 15% per language when you launch in different channels. So that's an average. Different creators have different results, but it's certainly attractive, and it's why we're getting so much traction right now in the creator economy and getting those conversations going.
And I think on the AI side, I mean, there are a lot of challenges. Well, first of all, let's talk the Asian languages. When you have a totally different character set, you handle that. You've trained your model on that. But models like we talked about architecture, there's medicine, there's law,
yeah,
each with very special languages and security. You do some high level security, like when you have the UN at a meeting, you do not want to mistranslate something.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously all of our systems are totally secure, but also you're right, there are niche topics that we need to be able to replicate in different languages, and that's where we might add a human layer into our solution. So the AI performs really well in some areas. If there's a song, for example, within some of the creator content, we might not use AI dubbing for that particular piece. Same for any technical language, sometimes. But I think in 12 months, 24 months, we won't be having this conversation. I mean, the AI is getting pretty good, and it just takes time to train the engine.
But I think what you've told me now and what we've talked about is right now with the human assist, there's less error, more accuracy. And we're watching now. This is pretty responsive in real time. How many of you actually have the mobile app running on your phone now? Anybody? So there are other benefits. Like, let's just say you want to walk away for a minute. Because you have it running on your phone, right, you don't lose anything.
Yeah, I think people are putting captions on, behaviors are changing. They're putting them on all the time so they can multitask or I mean, there's language benefits as well to having the subtitles on. You can learn new languages. But also there's search and discovery benefits, because if you've dubbed your content and then you add the subtitle as well, then from an SEO perspective, users can then search for that content and that track will come up.
Right. So like, I don't know how many of you use an AI like Otter to record your sessions, but you're getting the benefits of recording the session, making it searchable. You can walk away and still have the session running. You can learn a different language and brush up on your language. So in addition to accessibility, do we have enough volume here? I think on her mic, yeah. We have competing showdown. So I think in addition to the fact that you're translating and the fact that you're closed captioning, you are also getting these added benefits that we've yet to discover. And to your point, David Poe just wrote an article for CBS saying, like, families at home are now watching with closed captioning. And we know that all of you in your meetings watch something with closed captioning when the meeting gets boring. Like, true confession, right?
Yeah, definitely. And also it's great for literacy for kids content as well, because kids, if they have captions on, there's a literacy benefit in terms of them learning their own language and how to read. And yeah, YouTube's doing great things with search and discovery as well. I mean, they're releasing little bits of functionality for this multi-language program that they're working on. So normally when users log into YouTube, the language defaults to English. But what YouTube are doing is creating this algorithm so that once you've watched one piece of Spanish content, then you might be served or recommended more. So YouTube's working really hard to make this work, and we're working with them, to really optimize this and really drive growth.
So in addition, so we talked YouTube, we talked Facebook, you do Teams, you can do Google Meet, you can do Zoom. What happens as we get more immersive? Let's just say that Apple Vision Pro or the Oculus Quest doesn't matter to you. You can still run.
If there's an audio track, or an AV track, then we can translate, transcribe, caption, whatever's required. And we do that in so many different ways, on multiple platforms.
And you're not doing any scene description yet. So, cough in the background, car, noise of car, hitting train. Like, are you doing any of that?
We are actually for visually impaired viewers. So, on mainstream channels and networks, and on some, online platforms where we've got visually impaired viewers that need a description of what's going on in the video, then we have an audio description solution that describes, that for them. And that's actually a regulatory requirement within the US.
Right. So you also have to be mindful of requirements internationally and in the U.S., privacy, security. I assume you're not gathering you are gathering data, but aggregate data, right?
Yeah, we handle client content, which is some of it's pre-release. I mean, we have to be very secure. We have to be mindful of what we're transcribing and translating, and we have the right systems and measures in place to make sure that that's protected. Whether it's a theatrical piece that's pre-release or whether it's an interview with somebody that, it's got confidential or privacy issues related to that interview.
So here's the big question. Can we afford this?
So we work with the creators to basically give them the biggest ROI. And YouTube will recommend, for channels that creators might dub 80% of their archive. So we say a little bit less, but all of that content should be dubbed and then published at the same time. And we'll offer an AI solution where possible. We're expecting to see, 15% increase in subscribers as a result of that. So we work with them on their business models.
Right.
And also we work with them on the languages that deliver the best return. So right now we're getting a lot of requests in Spanish, Portuguese, Korean and English, and those languages produce the highest ROI at the moment.
So I guess the advice to creators would be, start with AI because it's more affordable.
Yeah.
Start with one language that you think your content resonates best with. And any other advice for the creators who are just getting started with multi-language or closed captioning?
I think they should build a business model, look at what kind of subscribers they've already got, whether there are any languages there that they've already got traction with. Have a look at, like you say, a steady approach, test it in South America, which obviously has the biggest bang for your buck because there's such a large audience there. Test it and then come to us and we'll help you deliver on that creative and maximize the engagement in those territories. And that's absolutely what we do. We help them navigate that space.
And Claire, your company is not a newcomer to this space. You have been doing this quite a while, right?
Yeah, we've been going for 35 years and we work very much with those big brands. So BBC, ITV, NBC Universal, we work with them and help them to engage with audiences in different territories. So it's our bread and butter. We're extremely experienced in this space.
So BBC, name some of the others you work with. BBC,
ITV Studios, in the creative.
The ones you can name.
In the creator economy, we work with Jordan Matto, who's a huge YouTuber. He has 19 million subscribers and we're working with him on dubbing content in different territories. That's a big brand. He's got a big profile. It's absolutely imperative that we retain that creative intent for him in those different territories.
Yeah, and I think, as creators look to monetize, this is one of the first areas that they look at because it's a light lift with something like VITAC. So, can we ask the audience, are anybody using any closed captioning, multi-language transcription in your daily? I'm gonna come out and I think maybe Claire has,
Actually, the first thing I checked your website when the first day I walked in, and I was constantly checking the accuracy, and I tried different language and see, and I saw some of the summary, which is really good function. And one thing I hope it have, which I was looking for, it doesn't. Okay, is the whole script that I can like keep a copy.
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. So
that's right.
Yeah, so we do a lot with a lot of customers, clients. What we do is we will live caption a show, and then we can convert that into a transcript that's workable and can be used, and it can be used for SEO as well.
Right. And also I was looking at, because I use daily between Chinese and English. So I used to work for one of the major film company, and I have to help Netflix to do the subtitle and dubbing. Even though I'm not the person, but I will be the consultant sitting there and watching every line by line. So it's very useful. I'm always looking for the tools that can help my job easier.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this is one of them. And I think this is live. So this doesn't touch humans. This is all run, through Captivate, which is our, live AI captioning product. And then we have translators as well as part of our network. So if we wanted to produce a non-live translation, then we would probably pass a human layer through that as well. So it depends what the use case is. You use the technology in the way that best suits that use case.
Right. But again, I like the question, talking about the budget, because not everyone has a budget like Netflix or, the big players. Here is more for content creators, which I currently using the one TikTok provide. It's the editing platform. It's called RapCut. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
So it's automatic. The accuracy was very, I would say 60% if you have no accent. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because each platform has a different audience. And so the expectation around quality and accuracy is actually different. TikTok, I think, this is just an observation from my perspective, but those younger audiences, I think they have more tolerance for not 100% accurate shows. Whereas I think if you're on Netflix, you're going to expect it to be 100% accurate. You've paid a premium. to subscribe to that platform and you're watching premium content. So I think every platform is different. No content is the same. And I think you look at the scenario, the case study, and you decide, which is the best approach here, and keep an eye on that budget,
Thanks for we'll take questions over here now because we have to make room for another session. But please, this has helped us just running the show. We're so proud to have VITAC powering multi-language and closed captioning. And so thank you for your time. Claire Brown, thank you for your wisdom.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your question. And we'll see you over on the side. Thank you.